What's up, guys? It's Owen here, also known as Spaghetti Slap, and today we got the fucking weirdest, most just like gross story that I'm probably ever gonna tell. Probably not ever, but still, it's a really gross story. And before we get started, I just want to say I'm sorry to your guys' ears, and this kind of has sensitive topics, it's like, you know, perverted. So if you don't want to listen to shit like that, then you should probably just click away right now. It's a crazy gross story, but yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so this story all takes place back in like 2018 when I was in freshman year. And it starts off as like, you know, a completely normal day, you know, until I get the 5th period English class. At the time, we were watching a movie called The Odyssey, and we had like a worksheet to do. And the teacher was like in the front of the classroom, you know, prepping everything, getting us ready. And she was like, all right, guys, pull up your Chromebooks, you know, get your worksheet ready, and make sure you pay attention because this is graded. Anyways, I was in the back of the classroom, and I sat next to this girl and next to this guy. At the time, the girl wasn't there, but the guy was. So I'm going to call this dude Melvin. And I had never talked to Melvin before. Like, he was a very quiet person. He just like kept to himself, and we never like had a real conversation. So the teacher's at the front of the classroom, right? And me and him are in the back row. So I'm watching this movie, right? And I just happened to glance over at Melvin, and he's like hunched over. Like, bro is like locked into his Chromebook. And at first glance, you know, I didn't even think of it like, you know, I thought he was playing a game or something. But then I had to do a double take, and I look at this man's Chromebook, and he's watching, well, I can't say it, but it rhymes with corn. And I'm sitting there with this face of like, what the fuck? Like, dude, we're in class. I didn't say anything yet, but this man looks over at me, and he sees that I'm looking at his Chromebook, and he quickly switches tabs. And me and bro lock eyes, and this dude looks at me, and he says, what? And I'm like, bro, we're not just going to skip over the fact that you were just watching corn in class, right? And he looks at me and he's like, what are you talking about? No, I wasn't. And mind you, this guy still has the tab open. So I'm like, bro, I can see it on your Chromebook right now. Like, I can see the tab still open. Like, what are you doing, bro? And he's like, bro, just don't tell the teacher. Please just don't tell the teacher. Bro literally folded with no hesitation. No hesitation whatsoever. He just folded. And I'm like, bro, I won't tell the teacher, but like, stop doing that, bro. Like, I'm right next to you, bro. I don't want to see that shit right now. Like, bro, just take your notes, like, or like do the worksheet, whatever, bro. Like, just like, I'll drop it. Like, just let's move on. Don't do it anymore. Like, right, we're done. And he's like, okay, fine. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. So I'm like, okay, cool, fine. Like, whatever, bro. Like, I'm just gonna do my worksheet, and I just won't even look in your direction anymore, cause like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna focus on my shit. So like 10 minutes goes by, and I start hearing this like rubbing sound, and I'm like, what the fuck, where's that coming from? And you'll never guess where this shit was coming from. I look over to my left, where this dude is sitting, and God, I wish I didn't look over. But bro literally had his knobgoblin out of his pants, pointing it down at the ground, just fucking gooning in class. Straight up just gooning in class, bro. I kid you not, bro. I was like, what the fuck, bro? And this time, I wasn't discreet about it. Because what the fuck you doing gooning in class, bro? Like, what the fuck? And bro was back on corn, too. Like, bro, like, we just talked about this 10 minutes ago. And you back on corn right after I just looked at you and said, bro, just like, don't do that shit in class, bro. Like, at least the first time you wasn't gooning, like, you were just watching it, like, bro, what the fuck? Like, don't get me wrong, watching that shit in class is still bad, but at least he wasn't, you know, just like full out fucking making ham, like, in the middle of class the first time. But anyways, like, the whole class is looking at me, and the teacher starts standing up, and she's like, what's going on? What's the matter? And I'm like, Miss Teacher, this dude Melvin is gooning in class. And if everybody in the class wasn't already looking, they sure as fuck were now, cause I just fucking outed this guy basically. You know, I just fucking put this dude on blast. Anyways, I look over at him and I fucking saw him put his shit away. And the teacher saw it too. And then she like goes on her fucking computer real quick. And on the teacher's computer, she can look at what tabs are open on your Chromebook. And she goes, Melvin, why are you on that site? And this dude is just silent. Like, he doesn't say anything. And he looks over at me. And he gives me the meanest glare I ever seen in my life. And he's like, bro, why would you do that, bro? Why would you call me out like that, bro? I thought we were friends. And I was like, bro, when the fuck did I ever say I was your friend? Have we ever talked outside? Bitch, have we ever talked in this class? Like, what the fuck do you mean you thought we were friends? We ain't ever had a conversation before right now. This is literally my first impression of you, bro. My first impression of you is you fucking gooning in class while we're watching a movie about the fucking Greek gods, bro. And that's basically exactly what I said to him. I stood up out of my chair and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why the fuck would we be friends, bro? We ain't never talked before this moment. My first impression of you is you fucking doing this shit in class. And the whole class just starts like, you know, half of them are being like, ew, what the fuck, bro? Why would you do that in class? And the other half are laughing at him because like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, how did bro even get on that site in the first place? Like, everything was banned on the Chromebooks. Like, did this man jailbreak his Chromebook to watch corn? Anyways, the teacher starts walking over and she just closes his Chromebook and takes it. And he tries to rip it out of her hands. And from what I could tell, he was kind of succeeding. So I got up and I ripped it out of his hands and I gave it to the teacher. And she was like, thank you. And then she walks over to her desk. She calls the office and says, hey, I'm sending Melvin down and I took his Chromebook. And then she explains why. And she's like, go to the office right now. Like, go. And this man is like, what? No, this is not that big of a deal. Why should I have to go to the office? And I speak up. And I'm like, bro, you were just fucking gooning. You were fucking yoinking yo shit right next to me in class, bro. Like, you know that's a crime, right? You know that's a crime, right? And he's like, bro, you're making it a bigger deal than it needs to be, bro. You could have just said, put it away. Or like, you could have been more discreet, bro. Now I'm in trouble. And I'm like, bro, I am glad that you were in trouble. Hopefully you learn from this experience and never do it again. At least not in school. Wait till you get home. Or at the very least, like, go to the bathroom. Like, don't do that shit around all your classmates. Now, I still think going to the bathroom to fucking goon in school is weird, and you shouldn't do that either, but I'd rather him do it in the bathroom rather than the classroom. And bro just, like, looks defeated. Like, the whole class is laughing, and he just puts his head down and he storms out of the classroom with his backpack. And after he leaves, the teacher puts her head down on the desk for a second, and I hear her under her breath go, what the fuck? And I couldn't help but just feel bad for Mrs. Teacher, because she was a great teacher, and she did not deserve to go through that shit at all. But anyways, I ended up looking for one of his friends, and I think either the next day or later that day, I found one of his friends. And I went up to him and I was like, I'm sure you've heard about what happened with Melvin today. And he's like, yeah, I did. What the fuck is wrong with him? Like, I stopped being friends with him over that shit. So even his friends were like disgusted by him because he did that. But anyways, I asked him, I was like, so what happened with him? Like, is he like expelled or did he get like suspended? And this man is like, yeah, he got suspended, but only like for 3 days. And I'm like, bro, man's gooned in school and only got a 3-day suspension. And I'm like, damn, that's it? And his friend is like, yeah, I know, right? That ain't shit. I got suspended for longer for vaping. And I was like, bro, tell me about it. That shit's insane. But yeah, that is the end of this weird, crazy, freaky, gross story about how Melvin gooned in class. Moral of the story is, don't be like Melvin. Don't goon in class. Don't goon in school, period. Like, don't go to the bathroom to do it. Don't do it in class. Save that shit for home. Like, you don't need to do it that bad. Anyways, I hope y'all liked the story time. Like and sub if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.